go ahead and get started. I'd like to start off by saying all praises to the Most High, Ahaya. Today's lesson, we're going to tap in a little more on Ferguson. Of course, as y'all notice, every lesson I started off lately by just touching in a little bit on what's happening there in Missouri. Then the overall lesson is going to be called The Purpose of Man. And I'm just going to give you some precepts on how a man, well, I mean, it could be anybody, an individual, man, woman, okay? But people say, well, what's my purpose in life? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? So tonight we're going to go into some precepts on how you're supposed to live according to the precepts if you want to be saved. Okay? With that in mind, we'll start off by asking questions. Do anybody have any news they would like to share with the group? Anything they've seen over the last few days outside of the whole Ferguson thing, or is there anything else that's going on? Brother Jarrell, you have any news you want to share with the group?
I don't really have any new news, but I've just been paying close attention to, what's been going on in Missouri, with the stuff, the protesting and stuff that's been going on.
Right.
And also, what other news do I have? That's about it for right now. Probably after the lesson, I'll probably share something else about, just a couple of scriptures I've been going on.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. What about in Chicago, in your hometown?
Well, as far as I'm hearing, I just got to talking to my sister and my brothers up there. They said it's pretty much okay out there for right now. There hasn't been too much going on out there besides, the killings that's been going on.
Yeah.
That's been going on,
Right, the normal stuff.
Right.
That's sad that we can say it's normal now, that there's been so much killing going on in Chicago and in that area that it's normal. Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. All right, brother.
The crazy part about it is Judah killing Judah.
Right, and that's the most craziest thing, that Judah is killing off Judah and not even thinking twice about it.
Exactly.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have any news they would like to share? I mean, if not, I got it. You already know Ferguson is keeping us busy. Y'all know that. So with that in mind, we'll get right into it. One thing I do want to touch first is that, the last 4 months or so, we've had so much unrest in a lot of different regions. Russia taking over Crimea and then going in on Ukraine. Israel on Gaza. ISIS taking over Iraq. Now, a lot of people don't pay attention to how it happens. Over the last 10 days, now that all the mainstream media and news has been focused on Ferguson, Missouri, people don't realize that Gaza and Israel had a 6-day ceasefire until yesterday. 6 days they had peace. All right? Russia and Ukraine are now in peace talks. And then America is running ISIS out of Iraq. They took over that dam that ISIS had took over. So just within the last 10 days, all those regions that was having all those problems is now somewhat calm. And then you got the major diversion now going on here in the States and in Missouri. So that right there lets you know the government and these big wigs, which is the Bilderbergers and all these guys, are controlling what's going on. So now that you have something big going on in the States, let's kill the fire on these other things that's going on in the world. Now we got the main diversion going on, which is in America. See, they've had us all blind for the last 3 months, 4 months, watching all this stuff going on in Russia, watching all this stuff going on in Iraq. And nobody ever expected anything like this to happen, what's going on in Missouri. Yeah, we've been expecting the troops to hit the street, but we've been expecting it for a different reason. So now that the troops are on the street, just because the troops are not in the street in your state doesn't mean it's not here. It's here, y'all. What we're seeing in Missouri, it's here. They're letting you know this is how it is and this is how it's going to be. And what people don't realize is that these National Guards, they're trained in two different manners. Let me tell you. Let me show you. National Guards, all right, we're called out for a protest. They're trained a certain way for a normal protest. All right, they're trained a certain way for the average crowd. All right, training part 2, which is called extreme. It's almost P90X. So the National Guards, they got 2 ways they get trained. You got the normal way, and then you have the P90 way, which is extreme, hard. What's that? Protest crowd, which is Judah. So when you have a protest crowd, which is Judah, the National Guard is trained in a different dynamic. But if it's just an average crowd, all right, it could be Judah, whites, Mexicans, whatever, no matter what. It's the National Guard is calm. But when the National Guard know they got to go in and mess with Judah, these dudes are on a different training course. Why? Because Judah is a different breed. Judah is not like Gad, which is your Native Americans. Judah is not like Esau, which is your so-called white man. Judah is rowdy. You get a group of Judah around, they get rowdy. You can't really talk them down. You get a group of Gad around, after a couple of days, you can talk Gad down and bring in peace talks. That's why Gad was able to get tricked so many times by Esau back in the day with the peace treaty. Judah, Judah, they're a different breed though. You can't just come in and talk Judah down. They ignorant. But now if you come in and offer Judah, see, that's the difference between Judah. You can come in though and give Judah something materialistic and then close their mouths. As long as they feel like they've been heard. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in this first 15 minutes. We're going to go in on some precepts on the issue that's still going down in Ferguson. Let's start off in Numbers 23 and 24. So like I said, the issues that's going on in Ferguson, our people, yeah, they have the right to protest. Yeah, they have the right to speak their minds. But they're going about it in the wrong way. All right, and I'm going to show you tonight with these precepts how they're going about it in the wrong way. Yeah, even though they're hitting the streets and protesting, a lot of them are doing it in a peaceful manner. But now your point has been made. You guys have been out there for over a week now. It's time to pull back, our people. All right, it's time to pull back. There's no reason to continue to protest. It's not going to change anything else from here on. They've heard us now. They know we're paying attention. So the job has been done. Now our people can back off. But if our people don't back off, things are going to happen. All right, and we're going to talk about it right now. Numbers 23 and 24.
We in the book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 24. Behold, the people shall rise up against as a great lion.
Read it again.
Excuse me. It says, behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain.
So this is what we see going on in Missouri. The lion has been rising up. So it says, behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion. So that's what we see in Missouri. The crowds of people, they woke now. And it says, he shall not lie down until he eat of the prey. What's the prey right now? The prey is the cop. The cop that killed Michael Brown is the prey. So Judah is not going to lie down until something happens to this cop, until this cop is convicted. All right? And once he's down, then they will drink the blood of the slain. He's slain now. So once he's convicted, now they'll say peace has been taken. All right? But let's find out who the lion is. Of course, all of us know who the lion is, but many other people, when they watch this video, they won't know who the lion is right off the bat. So that's why we got to throw a precept in here to let us know who the lion is. Let's go to Revelations 5 and 5. So now that we know the lion has risen up, and he's not going to lay down until the prey is eaten. It didn't say until he catch the prey. It says until the prey is eaten and the blood is gone. The blood is slain. All right, and this is what Judah is out there doing on the streets right now in Missouri. They are coming for that cop. They want his head. If the government say, hey, y'all want his head, they'll say yeah. All right, Revelations 5 and 5.
We in the book of Revelations, chapter 5, verse 5. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
All right, so it's talking about Christ. All right, this is when Christ went down and he opened the book and he released the seals. This is when he went down and released the 7 seals. All right, but nobody could open the book. All right, but when Christ was slain, so a lot of people don't realize when Christ was slain, he went down into Hades and took the keys to open the book. All right, this was one of his missions, and once he opened the book, he released the 7 seals. But it says the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So Christ was from the tribe of Judah. Hebrews 7:14 tells us that Christ sprang from the tribe of Judah. So now that we know Judah, Judah is your so-called black people, which is your African Americans. Okay, so that's why in Numbers 23 and 24, read Numbers 23 and 24 again.
We're in the book of Numbers 23 and 24. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion.
The lion is Judah, which is the so-called black people. So what we see going on in Missouri, these people have risen up. All right, let's go to Proverbs 30 and 30. So now that we know who the lion is Judah. And Judah is your so-called African Americans here in America. All right, and we already know that nothing's been fair for these people. Right, they've always been at the bottom. All right, but for some reason our people think it's fair now. For some reason our people think everything's cool now. Master made it right. Well, they showing you right now that it ain't right. They showing you right now that you guys are still nothing to us. Just because you got a job and you can pay for your car and your own house and your own food now, just because you can pay for your own food now, your own housing now, your own clothing now, doesn't make you one of us. All right, but our people fail to realize that. They think, well, I can pay my own bills, so I'm not in slavery. What you mean? You are still in slavery. Ain't nothing changed. And they showing us that right now that nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. You people will always be oppressed. All right, go ahead.
We're in the book of Proverbs 30 and 30. A lion which is the strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any.
So it says the lion, which is Judah, they are the strongest among these beasts. So in the forest, the lion is the strongest. All right. So that's why the troops are on the street, because they know they can't just have the regular police officers dealing with Judah. They'll take over. They'll take these dudes down. Judah is vicious. And it says, and turn it not away from any. So Judah is not going to turn away. They don't turn away from just anything. All right. These people are out there on the street, and it's going to be hard to turn them away. Now that they've been risen up, they're not going to get turned away until what? The prey has been slain. So Judah is not going to turn away until this cop is convicted. So just imagine if the cop doesn't get convicted. We're going to have a major problem on our hands if they don't convict this cop. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 48. So we're just going to hit Deuteronomy 28 and 48 real quick, because I said now a lot of our people don't realize. They realize, well, I got my own job. I make my own money. I work. I can pay for this. So they don't think they're in slavery, because now they can pay for their own things. All right? But that doesn't mean nothing. The master still got his hand over you. All right? It's a curse. Your curse, as long as you're in America, the curse is still going. You don't break the curse until you leave America. All right? Let's get that straight. They just been real good at polishing over the curse and making it look good. And this is what our people don't understand. Read Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
I'm in the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. So
we just go to this precept, because like I said a few minutes ago, our people, they feel like they're free. They feel like everything's equal because I can buy my own. I can do this. No, you're still under this curse right here we just read. All right. Back in slavery, we had to go to master for everything: clothing, food, Anything you wanted, you had to go to Master. You couldn't buy it yourself. Now Master has tricked you and put you in a system to where now you work for him, and now you can go out and buy your own things. So now you feel like you're free. You ain't free. That's why you see what you have going on in Missouri. These people are showing you. You guys are still not really free. I was watching something earlier today, and the cop, he don't even got nothing to do with Missouri, just a cop somewhere else. He says, I'm a cop, and if I tell somebody to stand down and they don't stand down, I'm coming for them. He says, easy. People just need to listen. He's a bigot. You can hear him, but this is how they believe. This is how they think. Let's go to Amos 3:1. This is how they are, though. They are trained, like I said a few minutes ago. Same with the cops. They're trained a specific way. If you have an average crowd is everybody outside of Judah. But if you have a crowd that's all Judah, these people are trained in a certain manner on how to handle Judah. And their first manner is to kill Judah. Kill Judah right now. Don't even give them a chance, because if you tussle with them, he gonna out-tussle you and take your gun and kill you. So that's why they're killing these people. So-called white man, Issachar, anybody else, they'll let them talk. They'll let them get close because they're not afraid of them. But Judah get close. They got power. These dudes are cock strong. They're gonna take us down and take our billy clubs and Rodney King us. So they ain't allowing it to happen. All right. Amos 3:1.
We in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So it says, he says, I'm going to punish this family that I have known. All the families of the earth. You have many families, but there's one family that I pay attention to. And since this is the only family that I pay attention to, they the only ones I know, y'all the ones that's going to get punished. So people are always like, why he punish his own people? Because that's the only people he know. He don't know. How he going to punish a family that's like me punishing the next door neighbor's kids? I don't know them kids like that to be punishing them. So Ahia says, I only punish my kids. I'm going to punish my family that I know. All your other families I can care less about. I'm going to punish my people for their iniquities, for their sins. All right? But he says, can two walk together except they be agreed? So what this is speaking of is, can Ahia and Israel walk together? All right? Can Ahia walk together with his own people? But Israel don't walk with Ahia. Why? Because they don't know who Ahia is. They follow man's laws. They follow man's gods. They're not walking with Ahia. They don't follow this true religion that we speak on every Sabbath, every Wednesday. They don't follow this. So our people, anybody, they don't follow this true religion. So it says, can two walk together except they be agreed? These people don't agree with the doctrine of Ahia. They'd rather follow Baal and follow all the Greek mythology and follow these planets and different things like this. So these people are not walking after Ahia. So that's why I ask, can two be agreed? Verse 4. Amos 3:4.
Verse 4. Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing?
So it says, will a lion roar in the forest if he had no prey? So if the lion had nothing to eat and he had nothing to go after, he's going to roar until he finds something. All right, and that's what we have right now. Right now, the prey has been taken away in Missouri. Who's the prey? The cop. All right, so now you have what's happened in Missouri, and the prey is nowhere around. They got him in protective custody. The other day they say he was in the hospital or something. Something happened to him. He in depression. He going crazy. So they got him in protective custody. So the prey has been taken away. The prey hasn't been slain. The prey hasn't been convicted. So Judah is roaring right now looking for the prey. And the prey is nowhere around. So Judah is running the streets every night roaring, getting more and more agitated until they find the prey. What's finding the prey? The cop being convicted. All right? So that's why you see this going on. All right? And then it says, will a young lion cry out his den if he had taken nothing? So this is like I was saying earlier. If this cop does not get convicted for this murder, when it says the lion will cry out, Judah is going to cry out like crazy because he's taking nothing back to the den. So when it says, will a young lion cry out of his den, if he had taken it, that means that the young lion went back to his den and he has nothing. He brought nothing back, so he's going to cry out. And that's what's going to happen to Judah if this cop doesn't get convicted. Judah is going to go crazy, all right? And they're going to lose their mind because they're going to feel like they didn't get what they came for, which was the prey. Amos 3 and 6.
Still in Amos. We have verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people shall not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High had not done it?
All right. Let's go to Isaiah 45 and 7. So it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Yeah, these people are afraid. Yes, indeed, they are afraid. That's why they are acting the way they're acting. But it says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High had not done it, with a question mark. So it says, is there evil in the city and the Most High had not done it? Let's find out. Isaiah 45 and 7.
We in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Most High, do all things, all these things.
So Ahiah says, let's go back to Amos 3 and 6. So Ahiah says, I create evil. So anytime there's evil, Ahiah created that situation to see how our people are going to respond. So the evil, the controversy that's been caused and created in Missouri, Ahiah created this evil to see how our people are going to react. But the question was already asked. And the question was already asked in Amos 3 and 3, can two walk together except they be agreed? And when it asks that, it's asking, can Israel walk with Ahiah? And Judah don't walk with Ahiah. Judah don't walk with Ahiah. So therefore, they don't understand what's going on. Ahiah said, I created this evil. All right? But Judah needs to go find Ahiah, and Ahiah will tell them what to do with the situation. Read Amos 3 and 6 again.
3 and 6 in the book of Amos, chapter 3. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Most High had not done it?
So, shall the trumpet be blown, and the people not be afraid? Like I said earlier, yes, these people are afraid. This is why they're rising up. It's a defense mechanism. Our people is rising and coming together like this because they're afraid that more people is going to get killed. They're afraid that this is going to keep happening. So yeah, they're afraid. And they're rising up on a defense mechanism. All right? And it says, shall the trumpet be blown? The horn represents, the trumpet represents the invasion, which is the sword, which is the weapons of the National Guards and the police. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? The trumpet has been blown. What's that? The National Guard and the police are on the streets with their swords, with their weapons. And our people don't even realize what's going on right now. But they're not acting afraid. They should be afraid. Once you see the National Guards come on the street, let's chill. But our people ain't chilling. Our people ain't chilling. Let's go to Ezekiel 33 and 2. So now we're going to hit some precepts because it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? All right. And like I said, the trumpet means the invader is coming, which is the National Guard and the police. They coming in with their weapons, their swords. Ezekiel 33 and 2.
We're in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 2. Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman.
So it says, son of man, speak to thy people. Speak to that one family that we was reading up earlier. That one family that I know, that I punished. Speak to them and say unto them, when I bring the sword. He's bringing the sword. The sword is what? These weapons that you see the National Guard and them and the police have. But remember, we read in Isaiah 45:7, he created this evil. So he says, when I bring the sword upon the land, all right, and if the people of the land take a man of their coast, a man of their coast, a man of their region, someone that they know, someone that's been in their hood, if they take a man of their coast and set him up as their watchman, go ahead.
Verse 3, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, if he blow the trumpet and warn the people.
So it says when this watchman sees the sword coming, he shall blow the trumpet and warn the people, but the people ain't been warned. That's why I wish I can get up there right now and get these people these precepts and warn them. Because it says they need to be warned. They need to be warned. It says, when he see the sword, I see the sword. They too ignorant to see it, but I see the sword. That's why the National Guard is acting the way they acting, and they're not going to change. They got the guns drawn for a reason. That's their sword. But he says, I need these people to be warned. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
So it says, hey, now if someone blows the trumpet and warn these people, and the people don't take the warning, and then once the sword come, what's the sword? The National Guard. And once the sword come and take it away him, his blood shall be upon his own head. So that person, since he didn't want to listen, his blood is upon his own head. Go ahead.
Verse 5. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warnings. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
So the person that do take warning of this trumpet that's been blown by the watchman, he shall deliver his soul. Verse 6.
But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
So this is why this video, I'm gonna do everything I can to get it on YouTube tomorrow to warn these people, because it says right here in verse 6, but if the watchman see the sword coming, I see that. I'm a watchman, I know it. I see the sword coming. What's the sword? The National Guard. And if I don't blow the trumpet and warn these people, then the blood is on my hand. That's basically what it just said right here. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, see, the people ain't been warned yet. And if the sword come, which is the National Guard there, they ain't been warned, and take any person from among them and start taking these people out. So if the National Guards get in there and start taking these people out because they wasn't warned, because they should be warned now once the National Guard get there, all right, after a couple of days, y'all get out of there, because the National Guard is going to get agitated after a few days and start taking y'all out themselves. And now you're going to have more deaths than Michael Brown. That's why yesterday you had a second individual killed up in that same area around 5 minutes away from where Michael Brown was killed. You had a second individual killed. A 23-year-old so-called African-American was killed again yesterday by the cops. Say he broke in, he robbed the store, took a few things. They say he was mentally retarded. He had a pocket knife. The knife was no bigger than my finger. They showed it on TV. And he started walking towards the cops, and 2 cops gunned him down and killed him right on the spot. No stun guns, no tasing, no nothing. They just going straight for the kill now. But these people ain't been warned. They ain't been warned. Now that the National Guards is on the street, y'all do anything stupid, they're taking you out. That's what that just said in verse 6. Read verse 6 again.
Verse 6. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
So now that we don't have no watchmen out here warning these people, and a lot of guys that's out there that know this truth, we should be trying to get down there and get to these people and warn them. Somebody. And I did see a few brothers in all white on a video out there. I don't know what group they was from, but they was out there at about 6 deep. But they wasn't close to the protesters. They was like off in a corner somewhere. They need to be out there touching these people. All right, verse 7.
Verse 7. So that, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth, and warn them from me.
So he says, hey, go warn these people and let them know it's from me. Same thing he told Moses to do when Moses went in and got the people from under Pharaoh. He says, go warn these people, Moses, and let them know. All right? But these precepts we just read, overall, all of these precepts, overall, when you put them all together, when it says, can two walk together and be agreed, it's talking about Ahiah and Israel, it just means following the daily life that we do follow. See, our daily lives that we follow right now, we following everything that we do under our taskmasters, under Satan and Baal. That's what we're following. We're doing everything through their eye. All right? But then you also have the walk of Ahiah, but nobody's walking the walk of Ahiah. So that's why it says, can two walk together? Who's walking the walk after Ahiah? Not too many people. All right? But if you're walking the walk after Ahiah, that confirms that you will do everything that he's brought in this world for us to do. He's already laid it down. He already laid everything down that we got to follow and do, but don't nobody follow it and walk in his ways. You would rather walk in master's ways. All right? But Ahiah's already prepared our steps and our path that we should walk in, and we don't walk in it. All right? So this is why we have the ignorance going on up there. There's no reason that a second person should have been killed by the cops. I don't care. Once one person is killed by the cops, that police department themselves should know we're going to do everything but kill this second individual. But nobody's being warned up there. Before you know it, we'll have somebody else being killed, and the cops will justify it and say, oh, he was doing something. That's why our people need to walk with Ahiah and start doing this the right way so nobody else gets killed. All right? So with that in mind, let's go into the precepts for the lesson tonight. Like I said, tonight's lesson will be called The Purpose of Man. And we'll just hit some precepts on what our purpose is here in the flesh and in life. Okay? Go ahead. So, and like I said, the last 3 lessons or so, I've really been touching at the beginning of the lesson on the whole Ferguson thing, because it's really got me bothered on what's going on there, and that you got all these different community leaders and Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpner and all these guys that's supposed to be these people that are not out there stopping this. There's no reason that our people should be getting tear gas. There's no reason that our people should be getting hit with pellets, bullet pellets, and smoke grenades. All kind of stuff is happening to our people out there. Yesterday they said 46 people was arrested. The day before that, 71 people was arrested. So they just doing whatever they want to our people up there. All right? But now we're going to go over some precepts, because the purpose of man, that's why I wanted to do this lesson, because if you had a correct amount of Judah man in that area that was walking the correct steps and the correct path of Ahiah, they would be able to come down and come out there and calm that crowd down. But you don't have enough men of Judah walking in the correct paths of Ahiah. They're not completing the purpose that they're here for. Our purpose, Judah, young men, I'm going to give it to you tonight what our purpose is. All right? And that way, when something like this hits your area, you will know how to operate. Let's go to Matthew 28 and 18. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 18. And Christ came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
So this is Revelations 5 and 5. Remember I said when it says the Lion of Judah has risen and opened the book and released the 7 seals. So remember what I said, Christ, he went out and took the key from Satan. All right. So once he did that, this is what Christ comes back up and say. Verse 19.
Verse 19. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. So be it.
So it says, so this first step as a man, he says, all right, well, what's my purpose in life? What am I supposed to do? First step, you get baptized in the name of the Father, and in the name of the Son, and in the Holy Spirit. All right? And then once you baptize, you go out and you teach. All right? You teach in the name, and you teach and observe all things that's under the commandments. See, so everything I commanded you to do, which is the laws and the commandments. All right? Mark 16 and 14. So like I said, we're just going to go into some key precepts on how to do this. So first, you get baptized. All right? In the true name, which is Ahia, Yeshaya, Rawak. All right? And then once you get baptized in that name, don't get baptized in Jesus now, because see, you get baptized in Jesus now, you know, you following their guides. So this is, you got to wake up to the overall truth so you can be baptized the correct way, and then you can teach and observe all these things in the correct manner. All right? Let's find out what we do next. Go ahead.
When Mark 16 and 14 said, afterward he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat, and upbraided them with their unbelief of a hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen. And he said unto them, go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues.
So it says, go out into the world and preach the gospel to every creature, not just some. Don't just once you find the truth, just preach it to your people. No, you preach it to everybody. Give everybody a chance to be saved. All right? But they have to believe in the word and be baptized. You can't have one or the other. You can't get baptized and say, all right, well, I'm not going to do the work. Or you can't say, well, I'm going to do the works and not get baptized. You got to do both. That's how you get, that equals saved. Baptism and preaching the true gospel equals saved. All right? And then it says, and these signs shall follow them that believe. But if you don't believe, you should be damned. All right? So that's why I say you got to do both. All right? And then it says, if you believe in my name and have faith, then you'll be able to cast out devils, different things like that. What he means? Devil means when people get sick, that's a demon spirit. So you say you can help heal people by believing in the true name of Ahia. All right? Praying for them and then showing them certain precepts versus this person going out and going to the serpent, which is the devil. All right, verse 18.
Verse 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Go ahead.
So then after the Most High has spoken unto them, he received up into heaven, and sat on the right hand of the Most High. And they went forth and preached every word, the Most High working with them, and confirming the word with signs following. So be it.
So it says that once Christ was risen up, the disciples did just what he said. They went out and they spoke every word that he said. All right? And they preached to everyone, everywhere. And confirming the word and the signs. Luke 24 and 50. But we know once the disciples did this, the Romans got hot on their trails and cast them into prison, and then eventually, a couple years later, they found out that the disciples were still teaching in the name of Yeshaya, and next thing you know, they started killing off the disciples, and then they went after the people, which was Israel. All right, Luke 24 and 50.
We're in the book of Luke, chapter 24, verse 50. And he led them out as far as to Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them and carried up into heaven.
All right, Acts 1 and 9.
We in the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Messiah, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in a like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So it's just telling you right here, like we was reading up in Mark, and it says once Yeshua was received up in heaven, the disciples went out and preached. When Mark 16 was saying that, it's just confirming this in Luke 24 and 50 and Acts 1 and 9. And Acts 1 and 9, Acts 1 and 11 says, Ye men, why are you gazing up there in the heaven like that once you seen him get zapped into the clouds? Hey, no big deal. The way you seen him leave is the same way he gonna come back. All right, so when he come back, he gonna begin coming straight from the clouds again, getting zapped down to earth. All right, don't be gazing like you're in surprise. All right, but what do they teach you here? They teach you the moment you see them clouds opening up and there's something come out of there, it's an alien and you to run. That's what they taught you your whole life. Independence Day, different movies. Once you see something dark in them clouds and it looks like something's going on up there, take cover. There's going to be Christ. It's going to be Christ coming. And people are going to be running from Christ. Yeah, it's amazing. That's their theory. And then when they realize that it's Christ, see, this is how people, this is why you got to have faith. Because a lot of people are going to have unbelief. They're going to look at the crowd, see the cloud open, see something coming, they're going to run. That's the first unbelief. That's the first sign. And then they're going to turn back around and see, oh, it's Christ. Then they're going to turn around and say, Jesus. Then that's the second sign of unbelief. And once they say Jesus, Christ's going to step on their head, right? And keep on this mission. Oh, it's Jesus. And Jesus going to crunch them. What's that game where you hit the thing pop up and you hit it boom, boom, down? With the whack him. Christ gonna whack him with his foot. So that's why you gotta have true belief and true faith in this word. That way you can know what's happening. That way you won't be in disbelief when you see it happen. Because if you're in disbelief when you see the clouds come opening and Christ come out of it, you're automatically going to hell. How you gonna be? Oh man, what's that? People that have belief and they know this true word, we're gonna already know what's going on. We're going to accept it. We're not going to jump back like, what's going on? Oh, it's Jesus. Hey, let's go. It's all bad. Let's go to Ezekiel 2 and 9. So that's why you got to get honed into the word. You got to study to show yourself approved and really find out what the true doctrine is. That way when time comes to pass on these prophecies, you'll know where you stand. You already know what's going on. It won't be no shocker. It won't be no wow or no. We're already looking forward to this. All right, Ezekiel 2 and 9.
We're in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2, verse 9. And when I looked, behold, and a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe.
All right, so it says, and when I looked, behold, there was and was sent to me a roll of a book. So Ezekiel say a roll of a book was sent to me. All right, and what's the roll of this book? Let's find out what the roll of this book is. It says in there, and within that book, that roll of book was Lamentations. Let's break down the word Lamentations. Get the Strongs on it. Go ahead.
We have Lamentations, and it is Hebrews 70:15, H 70:15, and we got Kina, spelled you good? Qiyynah, Q-I-Y-N-A-H, Kinah, and it is a dirge, as accompanied by beating the breast or on instruments.
All right, let's give the definition of lamentations. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
We in Lamentations. We're in the Eastern Dictionary, Bible Dictionary. It is called in the Hebrew canon Ekah, meaning how, being the formula for the commencement of a song of wailing.
All right, a song of wailing. So it's just basically saying lamentations, which is information, a message. All right, it's like you're bringing the message. All right, that's basically what that psalm add up to be. You're bringing the message, the song of wailing, the message, the word, the message of this book, the message. So it says in there, verse 10, 2 and 10 says, and there was written there lamentations and mourning and woe. So you're bringing like the word, you're bringing like the message of the mourning and the woe that these people have to go through. All right, the suffering, the pain. All right, let's go to Ezekiel 3 and 1.
We're in Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
So it tells us once we get baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we're to go out and preach to all people. All right, but before you preach to all people, you must do what? Find this roll and eat it. Read verse 1 again.
Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness.
All right, let's go to Jeremiah 36 and 1. So he says, I ate the roll and I filled my bowels. So have you ever heard someone says, I read the Bible a lot, and when I read it, I'm not even hungry. I don't even eat that much when I read the Bible. Because your spirit is getting full off of what? This roll. All right? When you're in the Word big time, you don't. That's why you can fast. If you're truly in this Word and you're reading the true Word and you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's easy to fast. You can go a few days fasting and not eat. Why? Because you're eating the roll. You're getting full off these precepts. All right? Jeremiah 36 and 1.
We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 36, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that his word came unto Jeremiah from the Most High, saying, Take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel, and against Judah, and against all the nations, from the day I spake unto thee, from the days of Josiah, even unto this day.
So even unto this day, so it says in verse 1, that the word came unto Jeremiah from Ahiah, saying, Take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words I have spoken against Israel. What book is that? The book of Jeremiah that you read in the Bible. So when you go to the book of Jeremiah in the Bible, this is exactly what's going on. The Ahiah came to him and says, Hey, Jeremiah, take thee a roll of a book and write all the words that I prophesied to you in this book that's against Israel and against Judah and against all the nations. All right? And put it in this book. Okay? So that's what the role of a book is. The role of a book is this Bible. All right? So people say, well, he says eat the roll of a book. What is that? The roll of a book, Lamentations, is this Bible. The King James Bible is the roll of the book. So he's telling us you must eat this. Eat this book and then go teach. This is your food. All right? Verse 3.
We in verse 3. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I purpose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin.
So we got Judah right now in Missouri. They don't know this. We just read right here in verse 3, it says, it may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I propose to do unto them. So what's going on in Missouri? The Most High created that evil. He proposed that unto them. But Judah don't understand that. And it says that they may return every man from his evil way. So Ahiah put that evil in that state right now, in that city right now, for these people to turn to him and to turn away from Baal and Jesus. They say, I want all these people that's here to realize that they're all doing something wrong. I want them to turn to me. This is a time that people should be coming together trying to find Ahiah. But they're not. They're protesting and trying to do it on their own and trying to seek justice and peace through the so-called white man. And you can only get justice through Ahiah. So they're seeking justice in the wrong manner. But it says, I will forgive them for their iniquity and their sins if they turn away from their evil. But the people out there protesting and instigating the sword, which is the sword that he brought in the land, which is who? The National Guard. Our people are instigating these people. So that's evil instead of letting justice be fought through Ahiah. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the Most High, which he had spoken unto him upon a roll of a book. And Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am shut up. I cannot go into the house of the Most High of the people. I cannot go into the house of the Most High. Therefore go thou and read in the roll which thou hast written from my mouth.
So the information that's in the book of Jeremiah is from the mouth of the Ahiah. Because people try to discredit the prophets. Well, how you know that stuff that's in Jeremiah and Isaiah ain't from Jeremiah? Jeremiah, those could have been words from his mouth. No. If you really want to get it correct, the Old Testament, all those prophets, the words as we just seen, came from Ahiah's mouth. But in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, John, those guys, those words are coming from their mouths, not Ahiah. They're speaking what they seen. So if you really want to get it correct, that's the formula of the Bible. The New Testament, Matthew, all right, Mark, the words from Mark, those words are coming from Mark's mouth, what he's seen. They're not coming from Ahiah. But these prophets in the Old Testament, he says, read it again, verse 6.
Verse 6, therefore go thou and read in the roll which thou hast written from my mouth, the words of the Most High in the ears of the people in the Most High's house, upon the fasting day. And also thou shalt read them in the ears of all Judah that come out of their cities.
Let's break down the word roll.
We got Hebrews 40:39, H 40:39. We got megalaw, spelled M apostrophe. Yeah, MEGILLAH, megalaw. And it is a roll volume.
From what though? From Hebrew?
It derived from Hebrews 15:56. Hebrew 15:56, and it is galal, and it is primitive root to roll, commit, remove, run down, seek, occasion, trust.
All right, so we'll go with commit. All right, so a role is commit. You commit yourself to this book. You eat this book. Commit yourself to it. Okay. Read. Give me the definition of role.
We have a roll. A book in the ancient times consisted of a single long strip of paper or parchment, which was usually kept rolled upon a stick and was unrolled when a person wished to read it.
All right, so we know this is how it was back in the old time, the scrolls. All right, this is how they kept everything, and when they started translating, they would translate it on a long strip of paper to where they can roll it and then ravel it back up and then unravel it when they want to read it. All right, let's go to Ezra 6:2.
We're in the book of Ezra 6:2. And there was found at Ecbatha in the palace that is in the province of the Medes a roll, and therein was a record thus written.
No, we're not in the Apocrypha. Ezra is right after Chronicles and Kings. All right, I know everybody big one for their Apocrypha. All right, read it again.
We're in Ezra 6:2. And there was found at Ecbatha in the palace that is in the province of the Medes a roll, and therein was a record thus written.
All right, let's go to Jeremiah 36:7. All right, so it says that in the province of the Medes, a roll and thereof was a record thus written. So it tells you that back in the Middle East, you have the records, a lot of records of these books that were written back then, which is the records of the sayings of Ahia and different things like that. And we all know that's where our land is. Our land, which is Jerusalem, is back in the Middle East. Okay, and a lot of our history has been distorted, has been hidden. A lot of people don't know nothing of it. And that's one of the reasons why Ahia say, walk with me. When you walk with me, then the true spirit will come in and it will reveal a lot of things that's been trodden down and hidden for ages. But until you walk in that true spirit and find Ahia, you'll be left in the dark like everybody else. Jeremiah 36:7.
We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 36, verse 7. It may be they will present their supplication before the Most High, and I will return everyone from his evil way. For great is the anger and the fury that the Most High hath pronounced against this people. And Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book the words of the Most High in the Most High's house.
All right, so let's go back to Ezekiel 3:3. We left off at 3:3. Let's read 3 and 4. Ezekiel 3:4. So we just went to some precepts to confirm what the role of the book is. Ezekiel 3:1, it told him to eat the roll of the book, and we just went to some precepts to confirm that the role of the book is the Bible. All right. Ezekiel 3:4.
We're in Ezekiel 3:4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people, not to many people of strange speech and hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
So it says, go to people that's your people, all right, which is Israel. Don't go to people that's of a strange speech. Okay? Don't go to people of a different language. Go to your people, Ezekiel. This is what it was telling Ezekiel right here. Eat the roll of the book and go find your people and wake them up. So it's like us. Once we wake up, what are we to do? I'm Judah. I wake up. Go wake up the other 11 tribes. Okay. And then if I find other people from another nation, and if they wanna hearken, then I'll talk to them. All right. But don't go wasting my time with these other nations first. Go wake up my people first. Our people are the ones that Ahia is truly concerned about. All right. But these other people, hey, some of them they'll. A lot of them, hey, they'll listen. They'll listen before our people. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted.
So it says our people are imputed and hard-hearted. They are hard-headed people. They don't want to hearken unto me. But like in verse 6, he said, hey, but I want you to go to your people. I don't even want you to go to these other people. But if you did go to these other nations, they'll listen to me before Israel will. The other nations will listen to the words of Ahia before your own people will. So that's like right now. I can go try to talk to my family right now about this truth, and they're not going to hear it. If it ain't talking about Jesus, they ears them. They got dull ears. Their ears are uncircumcised. Their ears are so fat they ain't trying to hear a word I'm saying. They won't even give me a chance. But then I can go talk to somebody I don't even know that'll be a so-called white man, and at least he'll hear me out. At least he'll hear it out and like, you know what? I don't know. At least he'll debate and go back with you. Our people, you take something to them, they already push the mute button. They don't even give you a chance to convince them that what you're saying is correct. The moment they hear you talking, you're in a code or something. But at least the other nations, once you start talking about this truth, they'll be like, for real? You know what? I didn't even know that. Wow. You know, at least they'll entertain what you're saying. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 34:16. So if we've already went over two things, so tonight's lesson is called Purpose of Man. We've already gone over the first two steps. The first step is to get baptized in the name of Ahia Yeshaya Rawah. All right. And then once you get baptized in the name, you go out and you seek all people, no matter where they at, to teach. All right? And then part two is you eat the roll of the book. You eat it, you eat it, you eat it. You learn the Bible. So that way when you go out and start teaching these people, you'll be teaching the correct doctrine. He don't want you to get baptized and start going out and mingling with these people and teaching them, but then yet you're following Greek mythology. Well, I got my master's, man, so I can go out. I learned religion in college. No, he says, once you get baptized, you eat this book. You eat the roll of this book to go teach. All right, so we got two things that a man is to do. What's your purpose? So now we're gonna read the third thing that you do. Isaiah 34:16.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
All right, break down seek.
We have seek. Hebrews 18:75. 18:75. We got darash. It is primitive root to tread or frequent, usually to follow, for pursuit, search, seek, ask. Diligently.
All right. So we'll go with follow. So seek means follow and diligently. So do your due diligence. You hear people say that all the time. All right. So seek means follow. So follow ye out of the book of the Most High and read. So verse Isaiah 34:16 says, follow me out of this book and read. And once you do that, you shall not fail and not want no more, nobody else, no other mate. You ain't gonna want no other book. You ain't gonna want no other religion. Once you find this book and you find out who I am, which is Ahia, you ain't gonna need all those other, the Mormon book, the Book of Mormon, the Catholics, they got their own book. You don't need all that stuff no more. You don't need the Quran. This is all you're gonna need is this roll. Is this roll that I'm feeding you. You ain't gonna need no other food. All right, but this is what you have to do. Seek ye out of the book and read. You have to seek Ahia. Ahia has already put his son here for you. Now that his son has been here for you, Christ ain't gonna come and keep tapping you on your shoulder. No, you have to seek Christ and you have to seek Ahia out of the book if you want to be saved. The plan has already been put here for you on what you have to do. All right, let's go to Proverbs 23:12. But a lot of people don't want to seek. What a lot of people do, they like to go sit and listen. They like to go to church and listen to a preacher or somebody tell them what to do. And then at the end of the day, that preacher that's sending them to hell, then they got an excuse saying, well, I didn't know no better. That's why Ahia says, no, you seek me out of the book yourself. All right, you come worship me yourself. That's what seek means. Seek means follow, worship diligently. Do your due diligence by seeking me out of the book and worship me yourself. Don't let someone else come teach you how to worship me. He says, no, you seek me out of the book yourself and worship me. That way you don't have no excuse on if you're doing something wrong. Can't have an excuse if your preacher has you following Jesus and you're like, well, I didn't know no better. My preacher taught me that. Well, that's your fault then. Proverbs 23:12.
We're in the book of Proverbs 23:12. Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge.
So he says, apply your heart to instruction, and then your ears will get the knowledge. Your ears will get the right words, the knowledge that he's bringing to you. All right. So once you have instructions, Ahia will reveal certain things to you. All right. But you have to apply your heart to instruction. So we're talking about what's the purpose of a man? What's the purpose? Not only just man, but woman. What's our purpose? These are the things you have to do. Apply your heart to instructions. All right. So what that means? You have to be able to accept reproof, man and woman, because we all get it. Christ gives man the reproof, and then woman gets her reproof from who? Her husband. All right. So women, when your man opens up his mouth and say, "Hey, you're going wrong about that. Let me show you this in the Bible," you're to accept it. Applying thy heart unto instruction. That's all reproof is. Reproof is instruction. But a lot of people don't like reproof, especially when it's coming from the man to the wife. When the man says, hey woman, nah, chill out. That's not how we do that. She go against the reproof. But it says right here, hey, you have to apply thy heart unto instruction. And once you do that, and thy ears and thy words of knowledge, then that knowledge will come in. All right? Let's go to Amos 3:7.
We're in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely,
go upstairs, Pop.
Surely the word of the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
So it says he will reveal the secrets to his servants, the prophets. But he can only do that if these people apply their heart unto instruction and to get the knowledge. And they have to seek him out of the book and read. All right? And when you seek Ahia out of the book and read, it says, and none shall fail. They will want no other mate. But you have to do these things. Let's go back to Isaiah 34:16. So he says he will reveal his secret unto the servants and the prophets, but you have to apply thine heart unto instructions in order for him to reveal it to you. Isaiah 34:16.
Book of Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded.
Alright, so we'll start right there. We're going to break some of this down. Alright, but this first part says, seek ye out of the book and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. None shall want her mate. You ain't going to want no other book once you get into this, like I said earlier. This is all you need. You don't need nothing else. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. All you need is this Bible. You don't need all those other books. See, a lot of people, they get into the truth and they get lost into all these different books, and before you know it, their soul is withering away. Like we had a brother that was a part of the group. Brother was real educated. The brother knew a lot. Very, very bright, very smart in the word. But then he started reading all these other books, started doing all this extra research and all this different stuff, and it pulled his spirit away. It pulled his spirit completely away from Ahia, because he started picking up all these different books. The Bible tells you the books you need. The Bible refers to the books that you need. But people, they outsmart themselves by trying to, hey, I know the truth, and they read a book that has nothing to do with Christ or Ahia. Go ahead.
We're in
Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. And further, by these my son be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is weariness of the flesh.
So it says if you start doing too much studying and reading all these different books, it's weariness to your flesh. It ain't helping your flesh. You thinking you reading all these books and it's enhancing you. No, it's weariness. So that's why verse Isaiah 34:16 says, seek ye out of the book and read. And none of these shall fail. This book ain't gonna fail you. The Bible ain't gonna fail you. There's no reason to start researching all these other books. See, people get bored with the Bible and they don't understand it, so they start reading the Quran and all these other books. He said, you don't need no other books. Break down the word my mouth in Isaiah 34:16.
We have my mouth. It is Hebrews 63:10. H 63:10. We have Peh, and it is spelled P-E-H, and it is the mouth as the means of blowing, literally, figuratively, speech, edge, portion, or side.
So we use blowing. Alright? So read that again and put blowing. And actually for seek, put follow. Or worship. Put worship. Put worship for seek. And put blowing for my mouth.
Worship ye out of the book of the Most High, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for blowing it hath commanded. In his spirit it hath gathered them.
Alright, so it says, for my mouth. So blowing it. So blowing it. What does it mean when it says blowing it? Okay. So when it says blowing it, what is your speech? Well, speech. Speech, it means sound, but blowing. We're going to stick with the word blowing for a reason. Alright, because we're going to break it down. So it says blowing it. So it's blowing out of his mouth like a wind. Alright, let's go to Psalms 33:6. So we're sticking with the word my mouth, which is blowing. Go ahead.
We in Psalms 33:6. By the word of the Most High were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth.
So now we know that when it says in Isaiah 34:16, seek ye out the book of the Most High and read, no one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth, for my blowing it commanded. So now that we just read that, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth, so the blowing of his mouth. Let's break down breath.
We have breath. It is Hebrews 73:07, H 73:07. We have Rawak. Rawak. And it is wind, resemblance, breadth. That is.
Right. So, oh, give him this. That's the best one.
By extension, a region of the sky.
A region of the sky. So my mouth in Isaiah 34:16, my mouth, which is blowing, which is wind. Then we read Psalms 33:6, breath means wind. Breath means region of the sky. So now that we know blowing of my mouth is the breath, which is the wind, now let's break down the region of the sky. What does it mean when it says region of the sky? Let's go to the Apocrypha and let's go to the Wisdom of Solomon. We're going to go to the Wisdom of Solomon 7:22. So it says, so it says, my by the breath of his mouth. Let's read Isaiah 34:16 so we can keep track on where we at with this. Go ahead.
Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read. None of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit has gathered them.
So the spirit had gathered them because my mouth commanded them. But his mouth, my mouth is what? The breath. It's the blowing of the mouth that's coming down from where? Heaven. Alright? Which is a region of the sky, which is a spirit. Wisdom of Solomon 7:22. Go ahead.
In the book of Wisdom of Solomon 7:22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is in understanding spirit holy.
So it says, for wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me, for in her. So I stopped right there to let you know the Holy Spirit, which is wisdom, which is Rawak, is a her. She's the feminine spirit of the three. You have three that bear record in heaven. Alright, and she is the hold our spot right there, and let's go to 1 John 5:7. You have three that bear record in heaven. Alright? And she is the feminine spirit of the three. Okay? See, a lot of people, you read Genesis 1:26, and it says, let us make man in our image. Through Esau's doctrine, they tell you that when it says let us make man in our image, that Ahai is talking to another male spirit. They lying to y'all. In Genesis 1:26 he said, let us make man in our image. Okay? He's talking to her. Which is, we'll break down who she is. First, let's go to 1 John 5:7.
We in the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 7. For there are three that bear record in heaven.
Three people that's sitting in heaven.
The Father.
The Father.
The Word.
The Word.
And the Holy Ghost.
And the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost is wisdom, which is her. Alright? The Father, we already know, is the Most High, which is Ahia. And the Word. The Word is Christ. Alright, but we got to break this down in simple terms, because a lot of people won't even believe that the Word is Christ. So let's go to John 1:1 to break down that the Word is Christ. John 1:1.
We in St. John chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High.
So it says the Word was with the Most High. Alright? Lets you know that the Word was Christ. Go ahead, read again. Read the rest.
Verse 2. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not.
Okay. So, this just lets you know that the Word was Christ. Let's go back to the wisdom. Wisdom of Solomon 7:23. Or finish 7:22.
It says, I'm going to start it in the middle of...
Let's read the whole thing.
Verse 22. For wisdom which is the worker of all things taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit holy. One only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be let, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirit. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High.
So it says she is the breath of the power of Ahia. So we're breaking down breath, my mouth. So she's the blowing power of Ahia. So when Ahia blows or speaks, there's wisdom coming out of his mouth. Go ahead.
It says, and a pure influence flowing from glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness.
So let's hold that part right there. So let's go to Genesis 1:26. So remember I was saying Genesis 1:26, he was speaking to her. And let's confirm it. So right here in Wisdom of Solomon 7:26 it says, for she is the brightness. We already read in First John 5:7 where it says there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So now that we know she's sitting up in heaven, all right, and then it says right here in Wisdom of Solomon 7:26, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Ahia, and the image of his goodness. Let's see what that means. Genesis 1:26. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis 1:26. And the Most High said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping that thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So it says, Ahia said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So he was obviously looking at somebody and said, hey, it's time to make man after our image, after our likeness. So he looked at him and said, let's make man now, and he's going to look like us. All right. So who was he talking to? He's talking to wisdom, which we just read in. So now let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon 7:26. Read it again.
It said, we're in Wisdom of Solomon 7:26. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness.
So the unspotted mirror of the power of Ahia and the image of his goodness. So it says she's the unspotted mirror of him. So in the mirror, she somewhat looks like Ahia. She's the unspotted image of him, but then she looks a little different. So that's a woman. Man and woman somewhat look alike. They built the same until you get to the front of the body. And once you get to the front of the body and you see the breasts and everything, that's how you can tell the difference from a woman and a man. But if a man and a woman both had a hat on and the woman had her hair tucked all the way up and no makeup on, you would have to really, if the woman didn't have no breasts, you're like, man, what's going on? So the unspotted image is the breast. They look alike, but then when you see the breast in certain other parts. All right, so just let you know that when he said in Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image after our likeness, he was talking to her. All right, he was talking to her. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 9:17.
We're in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 17. In thy counsel who hath known, except thou give wisdom, and send thy Holy Spirit from above. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom.
So it says, for them that lived on the earth and was reformed, the men were taught things that were pleasing to him. How were they taught things that were pleasing to him? Because they got counsel from wisdom. Wisdom came and sat with them. The Holy Spirit from above, that breath, that mouth. All right. So let's go back up to Isaiah 34:16. So he says that mouth is what comes down. That breath from heaven, which is the mouth, comes down from heaven, which is wisdom, to give men counsel. And once it comes down and give the men counsel, then these men are reformed and they live by the ways of Ahia, which is pleasing unto him. And then by them living by the ways of Ahia, they're saved through wisdom. So wisdom has to come sit with us, give us counsel in order to teach us on what we need to do to be saved. That's the knowledge. You must find wisdom. Okay? She's very important. She's been around from the beginning also. She didn't just come out of nowhere. Be like, where'd she come from? She's in Genesis 1:26. She ain't just pop out of nowhere. She's been around from the beginning, just like Christ. Christ has been around from the beginning too. People be like, well, Christ didn't pop up into Matthew. No. There were 3 that bear record in heaven. And Christ was sitting right here also in Genesis 1:26 when he was talking to, when he said us, both of them were sitting there. All right. Isaiah 34:16, last time. It should make sense now that we didn't broke it down. Read it.
34:16 in the book of Isaiah. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
So the spirit that had gathered them is wisdom that we were just talking about. The spirit that had gathered you to come do this, because everybody don't do this. You got to have a true spirit to seek Ahia out of the book and read on a daily basis. You got to have a true spirit in you to do this, do diligently. You remember we broke down one of the words of my mouth was do diligent. So do diligently. You do this because Christ, sequence do diligently. All right? And once you seek out Christ, do diligently, you do your work every night and you study. But you got to have a true spirit to do that. So once wisdom comes sit with you, now you're on your way. All right? Let's break down the number 4 reason what's the purpose of man. Let's go to 2 Timothy 2:15. So first, you need to get baptized. All right? Teach in the name of Ahia. Eat the roll of the book. Once you eat the roll of the book, then you seek him out of the book. You seek him out of the book yourself. All right? If you want to be who you should be, you seek him. You don't sit there and let nobody teach you. You seek Ahia and find wisdom and let wisdom come sit with you. So now that you got all these 3 things going, now you're on your way. 2 Timothy 2:15.
We're in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to shew thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of the truth. So
now that you've done all of this and you woke up and now how do you show yourself approved? I said now I gotta put the stamp on your work now. That's like somebody taking something to the notary. This title can't get transferred into your name until you get it stamped by the notary. You got to get it approved through the notary that you are who you are. So now Ahia says, study to show thyself approved. So once you study now, you seeking him out of the book and you study, show yourself to be approved. Become a workman that needed not to be ashamed. So now you're not ashamed. Everywhere you go, you got your books, you got your sword out. You're ready to talk to people. Don't, just because you're around your family or just because you're around friends, don't put the sword up and be like, oh, yeah, well, hey, yeah, and become like them and start talking like them. No, wherever you go, you got your book out, ready in hand, ready to let them know, this is what I do. I study, and I'm ready to cut you up. Christian, Egyptian, I don't care who you are. We're going to cut you up with this sword. And it says, and rightly dividing the word of the truth. So like I said earlier, don't just find one group of people and teach two. No, you spread the word amongst everybody. Homeless, rich, Esau, Judah, anybody, everybody. Break down the word study.
We have study. It is G4704. Greek 4704. We got spoudazo. Spoudazo. S-P-O-U-D-A-Z-O. Spoudazo. And it is to use speed. That is to make effort. To be prompt, earnest, due diligence.
So due diligence again, but we're going to use be prompt, to make effort. So study means make effort, be prompt, and due diligence. Okay? Let's go to 2 Peter 1 and 10. So it says, study to show yourself approved. Alright? Be prompt. Alright? Be prompt when you come do this work. Alright? Make an effort. A lot of people don't even make an effort, but you got to make an effort. You got to study yourself. Don't just, like I say, go to church every week and then be wondering why you don't know what's going on in prophecy. You ain't making no effort to find out what's going on because you've been taught. No, study to show your own self approved. You can't be approved through another man studying. Now a woman can, but another man, you can't be studied. You can't show yourself approved through another man study. You have to study yourself. 2 Peter 1 and 10.
We're in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail.
Give due diligence. Alright? Give due diligence to make your calling and your election sure. What's that saying? So to make your calling and your election sure. So if somebody stand up and say, well, I'm a minister, I'm a preacher. Well, are you giving your due diligence? Are you studying to show yourself approved? Because if you're doing that, then you make your calling a sure thing. But I can't say you're a sure minister if you ain't putting your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? You ain't putting your due diligence. I can't make sure I can't say for sure that you're a minister from a height. But if I see you studying all the time myself, I see you always in the word, then I can say, hey, dude, I can listen to you. I can follow you because every time I'm around you, you study. And it says, and if you find somebody like this, all right, ye shall never fail. Let's go back up to 2 Timothy 2 and 15.
We're in the book of 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of the truth.
Break down approved.
We have approved. It is G1384. G1384. We got Dokimos. Dokimos. D-O-K-I-M-O-S. D-O-K-I-M-O-S. Properly acceptable. That is approved.
Alright. So acceptable. So approved is acceptable. Then hit
we have G1380. G1380, and we have Dokeo. Dokeo. D-O-K-E-O. D-O-K-E-O. Says prolong.
Just get out.
To be accounted.
So to be accounted. Alright, so the word approved means acceptable or be accounted. Okay, so be accounted for. So we all gotta hold. You all gotta be accounted for something. But people don't hold themselves accountable for anything no more. All right, but it says study to show yourself approved. Approved means acceptable. Study to show yourself acceptable unto a higher. Okay, and the word study means what? Be prompt. Make an effort. Make an effort to show yourself acceptable unto a higher. All right, so but you have to make an effort to show yourself acceptable unto him. And then once you make that effort to show yourself as acceptable to him, then don't be ashamed when you go out and teach this word. That's what it's saying in this precept. Don't be ashamed to, once you wake up to truth, to go out and speak. All right. Galatians 1 and 10.
We're in the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 10. For do I now persuade men or the Most High? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be a servant, should not be the servant of Christ.
So it says, if I'm out here pleasing men and not pleasing the higher, then I'm not a servant of Christ. All right. So this is another way how you study to show yourself approved, yourself acceptable unto a higher, is by not pursuing men. Don't pursue men to please them. No, I'm not pleasing you. I'm pleasing a higher. This is why I got my Bible everywhere I go. Because you're going to have some people, man, why you got that Bible everywhere you go? Some people going to want you to put it away. Your own friends and family. Man, put that Bible up, man. We came out here to hoop. Nah, I came out here to fish. It ain't no pun. Nah, I'm fishing y'all. Dry land, fishing. There, man, put that away. I'm not pleasing you. I'm pleasing the higher. He told me to come out here and do it. So don't put your Bible away. Don't please a man. You studying to show yourself approved to him. Don't be persuaded through men to make you put your Bible down when you're out and about at a family reunion. You got a family reunion, you got your own cousin. Man, chill out, man. Let's play some ball or something. Let's play some volleyball. Everybody chilling. Nah, man, I got my Bible to eat the family up right now. Everybody here, this is the time to fish. Got the whole family here. Ain't no time to be hooping. Go back to Timothy 2 and 15. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. So you have to understand, you're going to have many people that's going to try to take you out of your realm. They're going to try to pursue you out of what you're doing. Like I said, you got a family reunion. You've been knowing all week, I'm about to be around 200 people, all family. I'm taking my Bible. I got my apocrypha. I'm about to go in on it. And then you get there and you got certain cousins that's pursuing you to put the Bible down and let's go be a part of the family and do everything else, and you came for a certain mission. Nah, don't do that. Yeah. You please them no matter what. Alright?
Go ahead. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of the truth.
A workman that needed not to be ashamed. Alright, let's break down workman.
We have workman is G2040. G2040. Ergolace. It is ergotase.
Yep. Ergotase.
And it is ERGATES. ERGETAS. A toiler, figuratively, a teacher.
A teacher. So a workman is a teacher. Okay. So break it down. Give me all of them. Can you give me all of them? Study is make effort.
Gotta make effort.
Acceptable. Teacher. You got it?
Give me one more time.
I got it. All right. 2 Timothy 2 and 15 says, make an effort to show thyself acceptable unto a higher, a teacher that needed not to be ashamed, rightly divided the word of the truth. Okay?
No better.
So now that we got those words broken down, it makes a little more sense. You have to hold yourself accountable. That's what it says. So you got to make yourself acceptable, all right, to a higher. And once you become a teacher, don't be ashamed. You teach everywhere you go. Don't just teach the people you know that know who you are. No. That's why everywhere I go, I don't care. They know I'm a Hebrew Israelite coming. I don't hold back for nobody. They see the hair, they see the beard, they know something's different about this individual. Right now, the moment they put eyes on me, they say he different. Right now, just off the look, he looked like somebody from back in the day. He almost looked like Moses. Look at that beard. That's the first thing people be stuck on. Yeah, I'm not here for y'all. I don't care about the cool, clean look no more. I'm here for a hire. My look right now is for a hire. It ain't for no female. It ain't for my mom. It ain't for my kids. The way I look right now is for a hire. And I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed at all on what I do and who I am. I go to the airport. I'm sitting in the airport waiting on my flight. Guess what I'm doing? I got my sword out. And anybody that walk by and looking crazy, at first I get their attention. Yeah, you want some, you need this in your life? This is how it's got to be, fellas. All right, let's go to 1 Timothy 4:11.
We're in the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 11.
We got about 10 minutes left.
These things I command and teach. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith and purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to exhortation, to doctrine.
So it says, verse 11 says, these things command and teach. And it lets you know the things that it's telling you. In word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. These are the things you teach. All right? You teach people, but be thou an example of the believers. What does it mean when they say believers? The disciples, when they referred to each other, they called each other believers. They called each other either believers or brethren. They didn't call each other Christians. The word Christians came first in Antioch. We know that. The disciples called each other brethren or believers. That's what they called each other. All right, go ahead, finish reading it. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery.
So it says, neglect not the gift that I give you, which is to prophesy. All right, so he says, I give you the gift to give prophecy to the people. But if you don't have wisdom in you, which is ruach, to have the knowledge, then you won't be able to prophesy to the people. You won't be able to go give them warning. You remember we started off by saying, go give the people warning, warn them for me. But you won't be able to do that if the true spirit ain't in you to see what's going on. All right? And he says to be able to prophesy, it's a gift. All right, verse 15.
Verse 15. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continuing them. For in doing this continuing them. For in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
So it says, if you go out, meditate on these things that I just gave you. All right, profiting. So it said that they profiting may appear to all. All right, he wants this stuff that I just told you to profit to all. I want all to profit from this information. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them. So continue the doctrine that you just got and learned, and continue it in them. Go teach them the same doctrine that you just received. Go teach it to other people, for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear. So once you wake up and learn the true doctrine, go continue and teach it to other people. Don't be stingy. Because you got some people that'll wake up to this truth and learn this truth and try to keep the upper hand on people and not teach it. They'll just teach people certain parts and certain things. Instead of teaching people the true gospel, they'll keep the upper hand on them and act like they know more than people. Nah, he says, nah, you go give this and teach to everybody. All right? Let's go back to 2 Timothy 2:15.
We're in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightly dividing the word of truth. Break down rightly dividing.
We got rightly dividing. It is G 37:18, Greek 37:18. We have orthotameo,
And just bring it straight from 3:7.
and it derives from 37:17, and it is orthos, and we have as rising.
Rising. Okay? So rightly dividing means rising. All right? That's what it means. Rightly dividing means rising. You want to take a stab at this?
I think you got it, but
Let's go.
hey, it just sounded.
So it says, make effort to show thyself acceptable unto a higher, a teacher that needed not to be ashamed, rising the word of the truth. That's what we're to do. All right, that's what we're to do. We go out and we rise the word of the truth. Make an effort though. You can't just sit at home. Like I say, once you learn the truth, sit at home and keep it to yourself. You have to show yourself approved. How you do that? By making an effort. That's what study means. Make an effort to show thyself acceptable unto a higher. How do you do that? Become a teacher. And don't be ashamed. And go out and rise the word of this truth. Alright? Last precepts for the night. Hebrews 5:11.
We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 11. Of whom we have many things to say, and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing.
See, this is why people ain't getting it. I've said it a few times in the lesson. Our people, they got fat, uncircumcised ears. Their ears, they just can't connect with them. You just be like, man, why? You just be looking at some people sometimes when you're trying to get in this truth, and you be like, what? You just can't get it. This is why though. Read it again.
Of whom we have many things to say, and are hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk, and not are of strong meat.
So it says, so verse 12 says, for the time ye ought to be teachers. So when it's time for you to be when it's time for you to be a teacher, when it's time for you to teach this word, ye had need that one teach you again, which is the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. So it says, so once you do become a teacher in this word, you have to be retaught to teach this Bible. You can't wake up and become a teacher and say, all right, well, I'm gonna start teaching the Bible, but then yet I've been a Christian my whole life. I learned this doctrine. I got my master's. You know all this psychology and philosophy stuff. But he says, but for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which is the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. So in order for you to be a teacher, you have to start over and learn the first principles. What's the first principles? The laws and the commandments first. All right? Which is not being taught. And are become such as have need of milk. So when you be retaught, you need milk and not strong meat. So when I reteach you, I can't give you can't give an infant a full course meal. Infants drink milk. So he says when I reteach you and you become a teacher, you have to be retaught all over again. when you become a teacher for me. You have to be retaught the principles of the oracles, and I'm gonna feed you milk versus meat. So I'm gonna start you over again. Let's go to Isaiah 28:9. He said, I'm gonna start you over again. This is the only way you can become a teacher under Ahiah. You must start your learning curve all over. You can't become a teacher of Ahiah and then keep storing what you. So I'm 37. I can't say all of a sudden, oh, I'm a man of Ahiah, but then I learned all this my first 35 years, man. I went to college. I learned. I got my doctrines in this. I got this. I can't keep that and then ask Ahiah for the knowledge. No, if I want the knowledge from Ahiah, I got to give away all that 35 years of shenanigans that I learned and start all the way over off milk, off the breast milk, all over again and learn from the beginning. Let's go.
We had Isaiah.
28, my fault. 20. I said 28 now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just pulled it up on the wrong screen.
We in Isaiah 28:9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Whom will I give knowledge? So it's like I say, so when you become a teacher of Ahiah, you have to have the true knowledge to teach the true word. But it says, whom shall I teach knowledge with the question mark, because everybody ain't going to have it. Go ahead.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
With a question mark. Who's going to understand this Bible? Who's going to understand these oracles that I just have spoken of? Go ahead.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. All right. So these people, it's a starting over process. These people are the ones that I will make understand doctrine. The people that starts over. It's like having breast milk all over again. All right. Go back to Hebrews. Finish it out. Hebrews 5:13.
When Hebrews 5:13. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
Go ahead.
But the strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
So it says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. So they don't know yet. So when you first come into this word and you're trying to teach, you're a baby. You can't teach. You don't know this Bible yet. So just because you got a doctrine and you know all these other books and you know all these different scientist equations and stuff, you are a baby when it comes to this. You are unskillful. I don't care what masters and what doctrine degrees you got. You are unskillful when it comes to the Bible. You are a baby. But strong meat. But once you're able to understand this Bible through a strong meat, you are full of age. All right. Now you can discern both good and evil. Now you can go prophesy and tell the people the truth because you can discern good from evil. All right. So we'll close it out right there. So a quick recap. Purpose of man says first you must be baptized. Be baptized in the true name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. Alright, and once you do that, then you go out and you teach to the people. You eat the roll, which is this Bible. You eat it, you read. Then it says you have to study to show yourself approved. I mean, no, seek the Most High out of the book and read. So once you eat the roll, read the roll, now you seek the true spirit. You ask the true spirit to come sit with you on a daily basis. You seeking him. All right? And then you study to show yourself approved, to be acceptable to Ahiah. Make yourself accountable. All right? So you have to do these things. This is your purpose in life. This is what you should be doing every day as an individual. Once you get baptized, you study. You eat the roll. All right? You hold yourself accountable. There is no reason why you shouldn't have no excuse why you ain't read the Bible in a week. If a week go by and you ain't read the Bible, there is no excuse. You hold yourself accountable. And then once you do become a teacher unto Ahiah, don't be ashamed. Don't only teach a certain group of people. You get around certain friends, you put the Bible away because you're scared they're going to say something to you. You scared they gonna be like, man, what you doing? Nah, you hit everybody in the mouth. You cut everybody open with this sword. Don't hold back. Don't let no man pursue your soul and be like, man, what you doing with that? I brought this for you. That's what you should say. If you got a friend, they be like, man, why you got that Bible out? Because I knew you was coming. Alright, you can't be scared of nobody. Mom, grandma, anybody. You get them. Yeah, mom and grandma, they going to shut you out when you bring the Bible because they think they know more than you. But that don't mean you close the Bible and stop talking to them about it. No, mom and grandma, I'm going to hit y'all in the mouth the most. Every time I see y'all the ones I'm going to really hit in the mouth just because of some fact y'all are the ones that always tell me to put it away. You don't stop pursuing people just because they tell you I'm good or nah. Especially if it's family members like that. Now you get the grip. There's certain people that you be like, all right, it ain't for that person. But certain people that you know it's for, and they just turn you away because they just been ignorant, they got them dull ears, you hit them in the mouth every chance you get. Because you know they just been, stiff-necked and hard-headed. Okay? But these are things that we need to know as young men, young women, people of Judah, people of Israel. Alright? And if we know these things that we just read, then you wouldn't have the uprising that you have right now in Ferguson, Missouri, because the men of Judah out there would know these precepts on how to handle this, and they wouldn't be out there on the streets setting themselves up for failure. See, there's going to come a time where we're going to have to rise up against the government. But it's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual fight. Ephesians 6:12 says it's a spiritual fight. It's not a physical flesh on what we're doing right now. They're out there in the flesh physically trying to get justice. No, we can only get justice through the spirit. Alright? So once you realize you're in the spiritual war, then he'll bring wisdom in and give you the knowledge on how to fight this war. But right now, our people are uprising in the wrong way and trying to fight the war in the flesh, and all they're going to do is get taken out. And that's not what Ahiah wants. Ahiah wants us to rise in his name, but he wants us to rise in his name and fight for him. Don't rise in Michael Brown's name. That's what our people are doing right now. They're rising in Michael Brown's name, and it has nothing to do with Ahiah. Like I said earlier, hey, the people have a right to voice their opinion. But after a couple of days, back off and turn it over to Ahiah. Alright? Every day they go out there is just making it worse. And all they're doing is setting themselves up for failure. Because like I said, what it say about the lion in the den? He's going to cry out once he realizes he has no prey, no food. And our people are setting themselves up. If they don't convict this officer, our people are going to be distraught. It's going to be over. It's going to be double what we see right now. Now they're going to be fighting. Now when that dude don't get convicted, they coming for war now, our people. And they're going to lose. It's going to make it all bad because they're going to do it the wrong way. Alright? So with that in mind, we'll close it out. Let's go ahead and pray. I'd like to say shalom and all praises to the Most High Ahiah.